Hello and welcome, and thank you for joining us for our second pre-arrival orientation webinar of 2024. My name again is Jamani Dunn, and I'm the Assistant Registrar for the Admissions and International Office here at the UWI Mona, and I'll be serving as the host for this webinar session. Now, thank you again and congratulations on being offered a place to study here at the University of the West Indies. Now, I imagine that you're all very excited to start your UWI journey. And I know many of you are, making your plans and preparations. Now, as many of you know, last year we celebrated our 75th anniversary of this great institution. And as such, we just pause for a moment to reflect on our rich history. So I'll just share a very quick video with you on our 75th anniversary.
On October 3rd, 1948, months after the establishment of a branch of the University of London to serve British colonies, including an extramural department, then the University College of the West Indies, the first campus officially opened in Mona, Jamaica. 10 women and 23 men from across the Caribbean enrolled to study medicine. Later that year, through royal charter, the university was formally approved by the Privy Council. It has been rendered as a place of light, liberty, and learning, as well as a Caribbean response to the challenge of change by Sir Philip Sherlock, the first Director of Extramural Studies, and Professor Rex Nettleford, the first UWI alumnus to become Vice-Chancellor in their joint monograph documenting the university's history. 75 years ago, what began as a fledgling university campus in Jamaica has evolved into a future-driven and top-ranked global academy with 5 campuses across the Caribbean and global centers in North and Latin America, Asia, Africa, and Europe.
We are rich in innovations and ideas. We are powerful pelicans, ready to fly on those wings of change like never before.
We are renowned for an exceptional record of producing critical thinkers and leaders who serve the needs of the 21st century society, and at 75, we're just hitting our stride.
UWI's legacy is the light of stellar service and leadership in the Caribbean for 7.5 decades.
A global university rooted in the Caribbean, activist, SDG engaged, climate smart, and championing reparatory justice with a mission to advance learning, create knowledge, and foster innovation for the positive transformation of the Caribbean and the wider world. As we mark our 75th anniversary in 2023, the UWI at 75 Jubilee supports a reflection of our past, homage to the present, and the future outlook.
And so we have to be robust in our management, we have to be strategic in our decision making, and we have to ensure that this university continues to rise and to make proud the people of the Caribbean.
We are rooted. Although our growth and impact continues to be global, we remain strongly influenced by where our university's foundation was built and by our service to Caribbean people and their contributions to the UWI's development. We are ready. We continue to be an advocate for the region, its needs and advancement, and we are recognized as a valuable resource for expertise on every issue that it faces, playing an unprecedented role in enabling the Caribbean's readiness, ability to overcome challenges, to build the Caribbean's resilience, and revitalize Caribbean development. We are rising. We face head-on with realness and honesty the reality that there is still room for the university to grow. We are on a continuous path of improvement and development, and as the light rising from the west, we aspire to rise, to soar higher, and to be a beacon of empowerment to our community. Rooted, ready, rising.
Right, so as we reflect on our history, rest assured that by joining the UWI, you're joining a distinguished family, which includes many of our region's leaders, many of the world's best thinkers, multiple Olympians, and not one, not two, but three Nobel Prize winners. It's a family that is rooted in excellence and a will to make a difference on a local, regional, and global level. Now, as incoming students, you represent our future, and we want you to embrace that and carry that legacy forward. We also want you to ensure that you have a rich and rewarding experience and that you're able to achieve the academic, social, and professional growth that you seek. Now, again, we at the Admissions and International Office are committed to supporting you along your journey. So don't hesitate to call on us for any support that you might need. So without further ado, I'll let each member of the International Office team introduce themselves and say a quick hello, starting with Hermin Terrell. Ms. Terrell, are you on?
Hello, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our second webinar. My name is Hermin Tyrell, and I'm a member of staff in the Admissions and International Office. So I extend a big congratulations to you all, and we look forward to welcoming you to the UWI Mona campus in person and to Jamaica overall. All right?
Very true. Thank you very much, Ms. Terrell. All right, Tony Ann Reed, want to say a quick hello?
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'd just like to welcome you to our second session and sit back, relax, and enjoy. And hopefully you will have gained some valuable information from this session.
All right, thank you, Tony. And Vikisha Allen. Vikisha?
Hi, good morning, everyone. Welcome to this information session. My name is Vikisha Allen, and I'm the Medical Elective Coordinator here in the International Office. Thank you for choosing the UWI Mona, Pelican Pride all the way. So we hope to welcome you soon and, for you to benefit from this information session put together by our team.
All right, thank you, Vikisha. Now, we're also joined by two extra special guests. So we have with us today Renee Balucci, who works with our Student Administrative Services section. And I believe we also have with us Tamika Nzondo Bio, who is a former international student. So we welcome you both and thank you for joining us. Now, the choice to expand your horizons and study abroad is truly a courageous one, and one that will come with a wealth of experiences and that will prove invaluable for your long-term development. But it's also one that, will have its fair share of challenges. And one of the key challenges that you'll likely face is financial and related to finances. So that brings us to today's topic, which will deal with financial preparation, budgeting, banking, and managing your financial obligations. Now, for this webinar, again, we'll split it into three segments. So for the first segment, we'll have a presentation on making your payments and managing your financial obligations at the UWI Mona. In the second segment, we'll have a presentation on a range of money matters, which include the Jamaican currency, creating your study abroad budget and setting up a bank account in Jamaica. And lastly, in the third session, we'll hope to hear from a prospective student on the topic of, managing your finances and your study abroad. Right. So of course, after each segment, we will take your questions. But before we jump in, there's a few key points of housekeeping for this webinar. So we ask that you keep your mics muted for the presentations as not to disturb the presenters. We also encourage you to share your questions via the chat at any point during the session. Now, if you wish to pose your question verbally during the Q&A segments at the end of each of the segments, we just ask that you raise your hand using the raise hand feature. And then when called upon, you can just unmute your mic, turn on your camera if possible, and pose your question verbally. Now, as best as possible, try to keep your questions focused on today's topic, which deals with, finances and money matters. If we're unable to take your question during this webinar, we'll do our best to, share responses after the session. And you can always reach out to us, connect with us if you have a burning question that wasn't answered during this session. Of course, as we had before, we have a very short survey at the end of the session, just to capture your feedback. So we just ask you to fill that out upon exit. Now, before we start, we just kind of want to get some of your perspectives and learn a little bit more about you. So we actually have a poll. So what I'll do, I'll attempt to launch the poll. And the poll has 3 questions. You can let me know if you're seeing the poll. So the 3 questions of the poll, have you created your study abroad budget? The possible answers are yes, no, not yet, but I intend to, or no, and I don't intend to. Question 2 is, do you intend to open a bank account while in Jamaica? And that is yes or no, or not sure yet. And for the 3rd question, the question is, are finances a concern for you ahead of your study abroad journey? So please go ahead and fill out that poll, and we'll look at the results later in the session. So let's get the ball rolling with our first segment. And this segment, we have a presentation from Renee Balucci. And Renee works in the Student Administrative Services section, also known as SAS. And this is a very, very, very important department within the bursary. And she'll share a little bit more about what they do there. Her presentation is on making your payments and managing your financial obligations to the University of the West Indies, Mona campus. So we encourage you to pay keen attention. Renee, over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Dunn. Good morning, everyone. My name is Renee Balucci. I made mention earlier before, I'm a customer service officer at the Student Administrative Services section, otherwise known as SAS. I'm also representing the Billings and Receivables Department. And on behalf of the bursary, I'd like to welcome you all to the University of the West Indies. So a little bit of our role and what we do here at SAS. We offer the customer service on behalf of the bursary to our student population. We ensure that your statement of accounts is updated in a timely and accurate manner. We also build and collect from our external stakeholders and donors on behalf of our students. So all new students are subjected to a commitment fee. This is merely a $35,000 deposit that you pay. The deadline for the payment is usually stipulated in your acceptance letter. If it's not explicitly listed there, then it's usually 30 days after the date of your acceptance letter. Kindly note that this is a non-refundable fee, so once you have made payment, you are unable to reclaim or transfer same to any student. Even though it's non-refundable, it is used to offset any future charges that is applied to your account, such as your miscellaneous charges. At any given time, you can anticipate 3 main charges being applied to your account: your tuition, your miscellaneous, and your residence. Naturally, your tuition will be based on your registration. So for example, a student pursuing accounting versus a student pursuing law. Your enrollment status also plays a part in the tuition that is applied to your account, such as a part-time student versus a full-time student. Your miscellaneous fee is a mandatory fee that enables certain benefits, such as your health and your dental. Naturally, if you're not residing in a hall, you would not anticipate a hall charge being applied to your account. If you are living on a MONA-operated hall, then you can anticipate a hall charge being applied to your account. The hall charge is also dependent on the hall that you are residing. The deadline for these fees are August 30th, 2024. So how do you check these fees? You are able to check your fees through any search engine, Google Chrome or Safari and so on. you type check fees UWI Mona, you click on the first link, and it takes you a page that looks like this. You'll note that you're able to check your undergraduate program fees, your hall fees, even your miscellaneous fees. Once you have ascertained what those charges are, you are able to make payments by clicking on the box that says pay tuition and fees. That takes you directly to our UWI e-commerce platform, and we'll get further into that throughout the presentation. The miscellaneous fee is a non-refundable fee that is payable at the start of each academic year. If you are residing on hall, then the miscellaneous fee is $45,430. If you're not residing on hall, it is $36,930. For our new students, the ID charge is also added to your miscellaneous fee, which will give you a total of $46,580 if you are residing on hall. Here at the university, we have authorized 8 payment locations that you are able to make payments to on behalf of the university. Under no other circumstances should you be making payments outside of these 8 authorized locations. You have the UWI Bursary Cashier and our UWI e-commerce platforms. Once you have made payments to any of these 2 platforms, the payment reflects on your statement of account immediately. You are also able to make payments at NCB full service locations, NCB bill payment, Educom Credit Union, Jamaica National, Bill Express, Paymaster, Western Union. Once you have made payments at any of these locations, it takes 24 to 48 hours to reflect on your statement of accounts. You also have the option to use the wire transfer. Unlike the previous options that we made mention of, you are not required to give them any banking information as they already have our banking details. Kindly ensure that your ID number is attached to the transaction. However, for the wire transfer option, you will need to provide a banking information, and this takes 15 business days to reflect on your statement of accounts. So once you are up to use the wire transfer option, you can reach out to us for our banking information. So the UWI e-commerce platform, you are able to access this platform by clicking on the box that you would have saw earlier, where you'd have checked your fees. Once you have clicked on the box, it will take you to the UWI e-commerce platform, or you can type in the link. Once you have done so, it will take you to an interface that looks like this. All you simply need to do is create an account, log in, register your card, and make payments. There's also a manual online that will help you in registering your card and so on. If in the event that you come across any hiccups, you can reach out to the Mona Information Technology Services team, otherwise known as MITS, and they'll be more than happy to assist you with that. So some options to financing your tertiary education. You can make cash payment, you can use loans, family, friends, salary deductions, government, and so on. You're also able to get funding through certain institutions. I know for our Trinidadians, you are able to use the option of GATE, National Bursary, and HELP loan. Here at the university, we also have an office that assists our students in financing their tertiary education. That is the Office of Student Financing. They assist with scholarship, grants and bursaries, and so on. You can reach out to them directly through their contact information listed on the screen, or you can visit their office. They're located on the Kenneth Hall building. If in the event that you have exhausted all previous options and you are unable to make the payment of the tuition in full by the stipulated deadline, then you can apply for an installment plan. The requirement to get onto the installment plan is that you must be fully registered, your miscellaneous fees must be paid in full, and 25% of your tuition must be paid in full. And if you are a returning student, then all prior balances must be cleared. Just as a tuition installment plan, we also have one for residents. Well, for mono-operated hall, that is, you must ensure that your hall charge is applied to your student account, your miscellaneous fees paid in full, 25% of your residence charge is paid, and if you are returning again, all prior balances must be cleared. So how do you access the installment plan? You are able to access the installment plan via the Bursary Online Student System, otherwise known as BOSS. Plans are available per semester as you are billed per semester. The plan is calculated on the balance of your tuition or your residence. The deadline to apply for the plan is September 13, 2024. The plan will also be open August 5th, 2024. So it opens August 5th and it closes September 13th. So this is an example of how the installment plan is set up. So you pay 25%, which is your deposit. The next 25% is due by the end of September. The next 25% is due at the end of October. And by the end of November, the next 25% will be due. And by then, you should be in good financial standing with the university. Regrettably, if you are not in good financial standing with the university, there are some penalties. One such penalty is that there will be a 1% late fine charge at the end of the month until your account is regularized. It also places a financial hold on your account. The financial hold will bar you from sitting exams or accessing certain facilities. You won't be able to view your grades or your transcript. And for the accounts that are extremely delinquent, these are sent to our delinquency unit, who then transfers information to a collection agency. So the Bursary Online Student System, BOSS, has some of the services that we offer here at SAS. So how do you access the Bursary Online System? You simply type in through any search engine, UWI Online Systems. Under the BOSS option, you select students, you log in with your student ID and your default password, which will be your date of birth. Once you are there, you'll note that you're able to apply for an installment plan, request a tuition letter, request a statement of account, and so on. You're also able to scan the barcode that is displayed on the screen, and it will take you directly to where you need to be. So understanding your statement of accounts. So your statement of account displays all charges and payments per semester. So you'll note that coming into semester 1, 2023-2024, for this student, there's an opening balance of 19,700. You'll also note that it shows you all the charges and all the payments for that semester and gives you a charge total and a payment total. And at the end, it also gives you a term balance again for that semester. All right. So here at the university, we view you, the students, as the client. And as such, we are unable to give anyone outside of you, the students, any financial information or documents. However, if in the event that you are unable to collect any financial documents or request any financial information on your account, then you must set up whomever you are sending to us to collect same as a proxy on your account. Once you have done that, and they're here, we check your account, ensure that they are a proxy, and then we are able to release financial information. If they're not a proxy, we can't release any financial information to them. So some of the frequently asked questions is that, can fees be paid per semester? Yes, you are able to pay your fees per semester as you are billed per semester. How do you check your account balance? You are able to check your account balance by signing into the Bursary online system, otherwise known as BOSS. You log in with your credential, that is your student ID number and your default password. You select statement of accounts in order to view your balance. So can someone conduct business on your behalf? We are not authorized to disclose any information for student finances to anyone but the students. However, if in the event that you're unable to, then you must set someone up as a proxy in order for them to collect that information on your behalf. You are able to make payments at any 8 of these 8 locations. However, for our international students, we do advise that you use the e-commerce platform or the university cashier or UWI Educom. So what is the difference between a tuition letter and a statement of accounts? Your tuition letter outlines the tuition costs, miscellaneous fee, and residence fee for the upcoming academic year. The statement of account shows all the charges and payments for the duration of your program or for the current year as at the date that you would have requested that statement of account. So how long does payment take to reflect on your account? Depending on the outlets that you use. For example, UWI e-commerce or the bursary reflects immediately. All other locations reflects 24 to 48 hours, and the wire transfer is approximately 3 weeks, which is 15 business days. If in the event that you have made payment and 24 to 48 hours has passed and you are not seeing it on your statement of accounts, you simply send a picture of your receipt, attach your ID number to us, and we'll do some investigations for you. If you are in need of the bank account to do the wire transfer option, you can reach out to us. If you're doing any other of the 7 payment outlets, then you need not to ascertain our banking information as they already have that information. Kindly ensure that your ID number is attached to the transaction and you should be okay. If you have any further questions, you can contact us via email at customer.services@uwimona.edu.gm. We're also available for calls at 876-927-1660 You can also WhatsApp us at 876-280-8238. We're also available for a live chat via BOSS. You can also visit us in office from Mondays to Fridays at 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. And you can also follow us on Instagram for all your latest financial updates. Again, on behalf of the bursary, we'd like to welcome you all to the University of the West Indies.
All right, excellent. Thank you very much, Renee, for your very informative and very comprehensive presentation. I see that we have a couple questions in the chat. I'll ask Vikisha Allen to assist with some of the questions. Vikisha, any questions we want to start with for Renee and the SAS team? I should also note that I see, I think Demario Claire is on, posting links and so on. So thank you for joining, Demario.
Right.
Vikisha?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Dunn. So one of the main question, which I think you kind of delved into, was what do miscellaneous fees cover?
All right, thank you so much for that question. So the miscellaneous fees cover quite a few things, such as health, dental, sports. It gives you access to the health center and a few more stuff. For further information on that, you can reach out to us and we can go in depth in that.
All right, excellent.
Okay, because I was seeing another question that says mine does not show what I have to pay.
Right.
Justine, is this question in relation to the miscellaneous charges or all the charges overall?
I think it might be her student account, Justine.
Yeah, that's correct. It's my student account. It doesn't show what I have to pay. I'm not sure if that's normal or maybe I just misunderstood what she said.
Okay, so for your payment of your fees, there are several different fees that you have to pay. So this would include your miscellaneous fees, your course fee, and your hall fee. They're not displayed on your account. You are sent, I think they're in your letter that you get to tell you the fees that are associated with to you and the ones that you are required to pay. You can indeed speak with someone from SAS to get a breakdown of the fees.
So when you pay something towards that fee, it doesn't show you the remaining balance, or do you have to contact someone to get that remaining balance?
Yes, you would have to contact someone to get the remaining balance. It only shows you what you have paid on your account.
Okay, thank you.
To further add to that answer, once the charges are on your account and you have made payments, you are also able to check your account balance via BOSS. That's a Bursary Online Student System.
That's so once you made the payment, then it shows you the balance on the BOSS system, correct?
Right. It shows all your charges and all your payments. Even if the charge is not applied as yet for your tuition or your miscellaneous, once you have made payments, it shows it on BOSS.
Okay, but it
Renee,
doesn't show you the initial amount that you have to pay. It's after you paid, correct?
No. So once the charge for your tuition, once you have registered for all your courses,
right,
and the charge for your tuition is applied to your account along with your miscellaneous fees, then you will be able to see that once it's applied.
right. That was a question I was going to
Okay,
ask. What's the
yeah,
relationship between the registration and the charges that are in the student's account?
I haven't seen that on my account as yet. That was my question.
Have you registered for
Mhm.
courses?
Oh, so it's when you register. Okay, sorry, I just got what you said.
Right. Once you have registered, then the charge will apply.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Keisha, do we
All
have
right,
some
we
more
have
questions?
another question here in regards to the GATE program. And the student is from Trinidad and they want to know, it says for students from Trinidad and Tobago who are covered by the GATE program, how do we ensure that our information or payments have been secured or accepted by the UWI?
All right. So for our GATE applicants, once you have finished your application with GATE and you're now at a means confirmed rate, then we're able to see that information here and act on that. So once you're a GATE applicant, just kind of ensure that you're at a means confirmed rate, and we'll go from there.
Okay, thank you for that. And also, can my deposit cover my miscellaneous fees?
Right. So your commitment fee, those goes towards offsetting your miscellaneous fees. So you'll just need to pay the difference for the miscellaneous fee.
Right. I see Justine's hand again. Justine?
Sorry.
No
Yes,
problem.
I had another question. I guess it's similar to the Gates program, but I have a scholarship with my government, and they said that they're supposed to send names, but I'm still a bit, unsure about when they will be sending those names. So can we send like a scholarship letter to you guys to confirm that, or just so that I can have a peace of mind that, nothing's going wrong or I'm not missing a deadline?
All right. So if you're on a scholarship, if it's not GATE or National Bursary or Help Loan, then you can reach out to us with whatever information that you have, and we can conduct some investigations for you.
Thank you.
Right, I'm seeing a few more questions here. Christopher is asking, is the hall fee for all halls or only for UWI halls?
Is the all fee for all
For all
halls?
halls or only for UWI halls?
So assuming that it's in relation to what is displayed on your statement of accounts on BOSS. So if it's that, then only UWI Mona operated, all charges are displayed on your statement of accounts. For a 138 student living, you'd have to reach out directly to them.
All right. Vikisha, any more questions in the chat?
Yes, I think if she could just give a general overview of how scholarships and subventions are handled, because we're getting quite a few questions on that.
All right, so if you are on a scholarship and the scholarship information is already here, then we contact the donor or the donor contacts us and we communicate directly to the donor. If it's a private scholarship, then possibly you need to reach out to us with whatever information that you have, and we can conduct some investigation and get back to you on it.
Thank you.
Right, so Anna is asking, if you're given more than one offer, how do you go about accepting and paying for it? For payment, is it when we register?
Hold on, I didn't get that question. Can you repeat, please?
Sure. So Anna is asking, if you were given more than one offer, do you go about accepting, how do you go about accepting and paying for it? For payment, is it when you register?
All right, so I know that once you have accepted the offer for whatever program, once you have registered, then the program fee that's applicable to you for the program that you have accepted will be billed to you.
Right, okay. Azaria is asking, good day. I'm unsure if my course is sponsored or non-sponsored. So unsure of how much I have to pay as well.
All right, so in terms of you being a sponsored or a non-sponsored student, you'd have to reach out to admissions for that. However, once you have registered and you are a sponsored or a non-sponsored student, the applicable charge will be billed to your account. But to know more in depth about that, kindly reach out to admission.
Okay, excellent. Vikisha, any other questions that we want to see quite a few in the chat?
Well, I'm seeing they're asking some question in regards to banking fees and currency and exchange stuff. That's something that we would go into.
Right, I guess I wouldn't be so much for SAS.
There's one question from John Paul. I know you stated that UWI Mona prefers if international students pay via UWI bursary or UWI e-commerce and Educom. However, can an international student pay via Western Union if they desire? I am from Trinidad and Tobago. Good question.
Excellent question.
Right, so you are able to make payments at any of the locations, the 8 authorized locations that would have made mention of earlier before. However, we do advise that for international students, for safety, you stay on campus and make payments via any of the 3 locations. However, if you want to make payments at any of the 8 locations, you are able to.
I think the questions speaks to using Western Union in Trinidad to pay, because even is Western Union on the list of accepted location?
Right.
Right, but that is Western Union Jamaica. So Western Union Trinidad, students make payment there to their UWI account?
All right, so I'm not so sure about the Western Union in Trinidad, but you can reach out to us directly and I can get some more further information for that for you. Well, we can get some more further information on that for you.
Right. Anna is asking, she's saying, I've yet to get a response from the school regarding tuition and housing. Also, for part-time students, can an email be sent out with a rough estimate?
You are unable to get any answer from Who directly have you contacted?
Anna, you're on. You want to share a little bit more about your question?
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Apologies
we
for
Yes,
can hear
I'm
you.
able to.
the
Welcome.
background noise. Um, the thing is, regarding bridge, I got my first acceptance letter in June, and last week, Friday, during the first meeting, I got another email saying that I got another acceptance letter. Now, regarding with the first one was a part-time, however, the second is a full-time. Now, with the full-time, I can get the information on the fees PDF file that you sent, which is fine with me. However, it is the part-time that I'm having trouble with because I would like to set up a budget. And if I don't know how much that is needed to pay, then I can't set up a budget. Whereas next thing you know, I end up don't have enough funds to pay for it, or I have too much. Well, the too much would be fine, but I just don't want to have insignificant funds for me to pay, as well as for housing. I have yet to get a response from any housing department whatsoever. I've tried calling, but I haven't gotten any answer.
All right, thank you for that. So, do you want to reach out to us directly so that we can take a look at your account to see what's
Yes,
going on?
please.
All right,
Yes, please.
you can contact us at any of the contact information that I would have displayed earlier.
All right, thank you so much.
Right, and you can also copy us in on your email so that we can help to support you and connect you with any additional departments as well. So we'll just share our email address in the chat. Right, so there's another question. True is asking, hello, once tuition, miscellaneous, and residence fees have been paid, could I then register for my courses, or should it be done before? Student from Barbados.
All right, so if the charges for your miscellaneous or your tuition or residence is not applied to your account as yet, you are still able to make payments once you have ascertained what those charges are, until the
Right,
charges are applied to your account.
indeed. And I think the miscellaneous fee for next semester has been published, right? Is that correct?
The miscellaneous fees for 2024-2025 has
On
been
the
posted
website.
online. You're able to check it at Check Fees with Mona to any search engine.
All right, excellent. Vikisha, any additional questions? I see they continue to roll in.
No, I'm not seeing any more questions thus far, and I think we've answered majority of what has been placed in the chat.
Okay. I'm seeing Rohan ask, I would have tried UA Bus to make payments with my debit card, however, was facing issues with getting my card registered. Would it be recommended I continue using wire transfer?
All right, so if you are using the UE e-commerce platform and you're having any issues, reach out to the Mona Information Technology Services team, otherwise known as MITS, and they can assist you with that.
Right, indeed. Yeah, I know that wire transfers generally do take quite a bit of time. And in terms of for the SAS team to locate the payment, it also takes a bit of time.
Yeah,
So
it takes
again, they always recommend that, wire transfer be the last resort. But again, we want you to pay your fees. So if it is that, wire transfer is the only route, I suppose it would be best for them to go ahead and do that and then contact you, right?
right. So you'd have to contact us for a banking information to make the wire transfer payment. Once you have made the payment, you can take a picture of your receipt, send it to us along with your student ID number, and we'll be able to assist you.
Okay, excellent. I see a question here about where do we register for class? I know this is more of a registration question. they were under the impression that they had to speak to an advisor first. So that's in terms of the timing for students to understand the flow. So would they need to speak to someone before registering for classes, and then can they only make the payments after that has taken place?
So for registration, I'd advise that you contact the faculty to assist you with registering for your courses. However, once you have gotten a ID number, you are able to make payments towards your account until the charges have hit your account.
Okay, excellent.
For clarity, Mr. Dunn, I just want to add,
Sure.
our students would have received the incoming student information guide. Could you please ensure that you follow the step-by-step information that will be in that guide? Registration, just to explain the steps for registration. Registration involves at UWI, you're going to go on and select your courses, get the required approval, and you go ahead and do your payment. If you have paid the correct amount, you would be a fully registered student at UE. So just so persons will honor, when you say registered, it has 3 components. So please ensure that you understand this. And if you have not completed all the required components, you would not be considered a fully registered student. The information on the fees for your program, our representative from SAS, she gave you the link for you to go online to check your fees. So there are program fees that are available. So you don't necessarily, you wouldn't, as a new student, you would not see your tuition appearing on your student account. So you can look at your program fee, note your program fee, know how much you're supposed to pay by going on the website with the information for fees. And we have 2 different links, one for undergraduate student and one for graduate students. So you just go to those links, look at your faculty. Some of the fees are quoted by program. You look for your program, and there you'd be able to see your fees. And whether you're full-time or part-time, the information is there on the website for the fees.
Right. Thank you so much for that, Ms. Terrell. I think that's clear. Apollonia had a question I just saw in the chat. She said she was concerned about how payments are made for students who are doing online learning only. Is there a difference in terms of the online students versus the face-to-face students? Or would it be the same process? Sorry, Renee, still with us?
Yes, I'm still here. Repeat what you said, please.
Right. So Apollonia had a question. She's
Mm-hmm.
asked, she said she's concerned about how payments are made for students who do online learning only.
Payments are still the same.
Okay, so the process is the same. I suppose only the cashier would be perhaps out unless you're online, but in Jamaica. But yeah, so the process would essentially be the same. The channels would be the same. The second part of your question, I think, was answered before in terms of the timing and so on. So I suppose we can move on. Vikisha, were there any other questions?
Someone is John Paul is asking, when I requested the international wire transfer information, I got it, but the UE Mona Bank account titles UE general account USD, so I paid in US dollars. Is it difficult to get US in Trinidad? It is difficult to get US in Trinidad. Can I pay in TT?
All right, so you are able to make payments, I think in TT, but it will convert to whatever USD amount.
Okay, when it goes into that account. Okay,
Mhm.
excellent. True is asking, is the ID card fee still applicable for students studying online? Yeah,
All
that's a
right,
good
so
question.
that's a very good question, but I believe so, but I'll need to do some further investigations. You can reach out to us directly for that. But I believe so. But you can reach out to us. I can do some more further investigation to give you a firm answer.
All right, excellent. Anyone else have any questions that you want to share verbally? I know time is sort of against us. Gone. If not, thank you very much, Renee, for your excellent presentation and for answering the students' questions. We really appreciate also the support from the SAS team and your colleague, Demario, who provided some of the links and vital information via the chat. And thanks to Vikisha and Mr. El for your support in that
All
segment.
right.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
So you
Thanks for
take care,
having me.
Renee. Thank you. You can depart. Thanks. Right. Now, so before we go into segment 2 of the webinar, we just want to pause for a moment to just look at the results of the poll. So I'm just going to share the results here. You can let me know if you're seeing them. Vikisha, you want to assist me with these?
Okay, so have you created your study abroad budget? Wow. Only 28% said they have. 65% said they intend to, which is great. 7% says no, and I don't intend to. What's going on?
Wow, yeah.
What's going on
Anyone
there?
care to share why they don't intend to set up a budget? You think maybe they don't need to. Maybe they're flush with cash and have no financial worries. So
No. Well,
right,
do
so
you
question
intend
2.
to open a bank account while you're in Jamaica? 47% said yes. 49% said you're not sure. And the other persons, they said they're not going to. Are finances a concern for you ahead of your study abroad journey? 42% said yes, somewhat. 34% said very much. 20% said no, not really, and 4% said no, not at all.
All right, interesting
So
responses. So I guess we get a
yeah,
sense
it's
as to
very
where students
interesting.
are, with more different money matter questions. I'm still shocked that there's some who don't intend to set up a budget at all. Yeah, that'll be interesting. All right, so I'll stop sharing the poll and we will move into our next segment. So in keeping with the theme, we will have a presentation on managing your money, and you'll learn more about the Jamaican currency, the cost of living in Jamaica, which may be quite a bit different from what you're used to back home. Also, budgeting for your study abroad, even for those of you who said you don't want to, it's still good to hear how you can go about doing it and perhaps hear why it's important to do so. And then lastly, a little bit about setting up a bank account here in Jamaica. And to provide this presentation, we have Tony Ann Reed. So Tony, over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Don. All right. Just checking everybody seeing the slides.
Looking good. You can see.
Okay, thanks again, Mr. Don. So I'll be dealing with budgeting matters and setting up a local bank account. This presentation will be broken down in 3 sections. We have money matters, understanding the Jamaican currency, your budget, making a study abroad budget, and the bank account, setting up an account in Jamaica. Studying abroad offers an incredible opportunity for learning and personal growth, but it also requires careful financial planning. Understanding and budgeting for various expenses ensure that you can focus on your studies and make the most of your time abroad here. I'll be sharing with you a comprehensive overview of the key cost areas to consider when planning your study abroad budget. The cost breakdown provides a clear outline of the expected expenses for various aspects of living and studying as a full-time student or an exchange student. Adjusting lifestyle choices and planning ahead can help you manage your budget effectively. Before we get into all of that though, first you need to familiarize yourself with our local tender or Jamaican dollar. On the screen is our old banknotes, and they are still in circulation and still used as legal tender. We have a 50, 100, 500, 1,000, and a $5,000 bill. And next you will see our new polymer banknotes. These were introduced in 2023. They feature an updated security feature, designs, portraits of prominent national figures, and also a new $2,000 note. On this slide, you will see a comparison of the old and new $100 bill, with the old note being at the bottom. It illustrates a portrait of the Right Excellent Paul Bogle, who was one of our national heroes. And on the new version, it shows Sir Donald Sangster, who was a former prime minister. The $100 note, affectionately called Bills by Us Local, is equivalent to 67 US dollar cents. And you can also take a quick look at the other conversion to different currencies below. The 500, the nanny, is equivalent to $3.27 US dollars. The $1,000, which we call gran, this is the $2,000 bill, which we refer to as 2 grand. And finally, the $5,000, which we call the 5 grand, and this is equivalent to 32 US dollars and 65 cents. We've put together a cost of living comparison chart between Jamaica, US, Barbados, and Trinidad. I will be highlighting the Jamaican aspect of this chart. For transportation, buses are an economical option ranging from 73 cents to 7 US dollars. They're suitable for students on a tight budget. Taxis also offer convenience, but at a higher cost, ranging from 21 to 29 US dollars. They may also be more suitable for late night travel or areas with limited public transportation. Housing. On-campus housing offers affordability at 375 US dollars approximately. This is a good option for students who want convenience and proximity to campus facilities. Off-campus housing varies widely from 300 to 1,355 US dollars, depending on the location, size, amenities that the place has to offer. Students should compare options based on their budget and personal preferences. Restaurants. Eating out can range from 23 to 72 US dollars. Students can save by choosing lower cost options though, or by cooking at home when they can. Food and groceries. Groceries range from 80 to 140 US dollars. Shopping at local markets and using budget-friendly recipes can help manage cost effectively. Then we have daily miscellaneous. This category includes personal expenses such as entertainment, laundry, other daily needs. Setting aside a small budget for these can help avoid unexpected costs. Why budget? This helps you to make the most of your time while studying abroad. Budgeting for your study abroad experience involves carefully planning and consideration of various expenses. By creating a detailed budget, you can ensure a smooth and enjoyable time here with us. Proper financial planning and research allows you to focus on your studies, explore the country, and make the most of this opportunity. Your budget should include, but not limited to, the following items: your airfare. Start researching airfare options as soon as you decide on your on your overseas study. Booking flights well in advance often yields better prices. Consider using fare comparison websites and setting up alerts for price drops. Consider flexible travel dates. You can also consider booking midweek flights, as this is often less expensive than weekend flights. And also you could consider using a travel agency, as they may offer special discounts for students. Visa cost. Check the visa requirements for your host country well ahead of time. Each country has different application processes and fees. Gather all necessary documents, such as your acceptance letter, financial statement, passports, etc., before applying. Budget for your fees. Visa fees can vary widely depending on the country and the type of visa that is required. Include these fees in your budget. Some countries may also require additional fees for extensions, so ensure you do your research for any potential additional cost. Next, we have the extension of stay fee. Plan for your extension. For those who will have to stay beyond the initial visa period, research the extension of stay process and the associated fees. Ensure you have the financial means to cover these costs if the extension becomes necessary for you. Tuition and miscellaneous. Understand your tuition cost, as they vary based on the program you choose. Make sure you understand if there are any additional fees, especially for international students. Factor in your miscellaneous fees, housing, etc. Additional expenses for science and medical students. Students in these fields may need to purchase specific items such as lab coats, safety goggles, or medical instruments. These expenses can add up quickly, so ensure you make leeways for those. Housing and utilities. On-campus housing is often convenient. Research the cost of different housing options and compare them to find the best fit for your budget. Off-campus housing. This might offer more independence, but it can come with additional costs such as utilities, internet, transportation, etc. Research the average cost of the rent in that area and factor in utilities to ensure you're making the right decision. Books and learning materials. Plan for your academic expenses. Budget for textbooks and other required learning materials. These costs can vary widely depending on your course. Consider buying used textbooks, renting books, or using digital versions to save money. Local transportation. We have options that include buses and taxis. Groceries. Create your grocery budget based on local prices and your dietary needs. Shopping at local markets and buying in bulk may help reduce cost. And also consider meal prepping. That also saves time and money. Utilize supermarkets and stores, as they sometimes offer special discounts to students, so you can take advantage of those savings. Household/kitchenware. Budget for your household items such as pots, plates, utensils, sheets, and curtains. These are one-time expenses and they're essential for setting up your living space. Incidentals, personal care and clothing. Allocate funds for clothing and personal grooming, including hairstyling, barbering, nail care, and other essential personal care items. You can even consider bringing some of these items from your home, as it may be cheaper. Entertainment. So this would include your leisure and social activities. Set aside a budget for things such as dining out, movies, cultural events, and this allows you to enjoy your time here with us without overspending. Some venues may also offer student discounts, so it's always good to walk with your student IDs. Your just-in-case funds for unseen expenses. Set aside an emergency fund for unexpected expenses, such as medical emergencies or urgent repairs. This provides peace of mind and financial security, knowing that you have sufficient funds to cover whatever issue may arise. Regularly review your budget and adjust it as needed to accommodate these expenses. All right, so securing financial aid is also an important part of planning for your study abroad experience. Applying for grants and scholarships along with exploring local resources can significantly reduce your financial burden. We ask that you visit our student financing office, whether on their website or when you arrive on campus, to explore any options that may be available. Things to note: keep track of your expenses. Regularly update your budget to reflect your spending and ensure that you're always staying within your limits. You can use budgeting apps or spreadsheets to track your daily expenses. Be mindful of your spending. Before making a purchase, consider whether it aligns with your budget and your priorities. Avoid impulse buys and focus on spending money on experiences and necessities that truly matter. Avoid banking fees. Research the banks. Some of them offer student-friendly accounts with minimal fees and certain rates. Consider opening a local bank account to minimize on conversion fees and transaction fees. Notify your bank as well whenever you're planning to travel to avoid your card being flagged for unusual activity. Make friends with locals. Befriending locals can enrich your experience and provide valuable insights into the culture and daily life at your host country. They can also offer tips on affordable dining, shopping, entertainment, just to name a few. Explore by foot or public transportation. Save on transportation by walking or using public transportation is more economical than relying on taxis or rideshare services. It's also an excellent way to immerse yourself in our local culture and explore your surroundings. Exploring by foot also allows you to discover hidden gems and our local favorites. Become an expert researcher. So before making any significant purchase, research. This can help you to find your best deals for your budget. Keep a just-in-case fund. Prepare for emergencies. Set aside a portion of your budget for unforeseen expenses. These funds provide financial security and reduces stress during these unexpected situations. Studying abroad doesn't mean you have to break the bank. Once you have a budget in place and you stick to it as best as you can, you won't have any issues. Next, I will go into bank account, opening up a bank account. Getting your finances in order is also another important part of the study abroad process. You will need to ensure the necessary preparation to sustain and support yourself while you're here. This will include things such as paying for your groceries, your bills, and other day-to-day expenses. Setting up a local bank account will enable you to conduct these transactions with ease while having a safe place to store your funds. Benefits of opening a local bank account. It's cheaper as you're able to save on conversion rates, as different places may offer different rates of exchange. So paying for things in the local currency, you will ultimately save. Safety. It prevents you from carrying around large amounts of cash, and it provides a safe place for you to save your money. Accessibility. You'll have 24-hour access to the bank's many automated teller machines throughout the island, and you will also be able to monitor your accounts online. And finally, convenience. You'll be able to make payments and receive funds with ease. Your family and friends will be able to transfer funds from overseas with ease to your account. Things you should know. Once you have a bank account, there are certain fees that would become applicable. There are transaction fees, ATM fees, transfer fees, and in-branch withdrawal fees. Each branch has their own fee structure, so feel free to go on their individual websites and view their rates. There is a minimum amount as well to open a bank account. And as I said before, each bank has their own requirements. Here on campus, we have Bank of Nova Scotia, National Commercial Bank, NCB, Jamaica National, JN, and Educom Cooperative Credit Union. Based on their location, we would recommend them due to the proximity to you on campus and ease of access. But ultimately, the choice is yours, so please feel free to conduct your own research to determine which institution suits you best. And I should mention that all branches on campus are cashless branches. There are also other branches off campus, such as Sagicor, First Global, First Caribbean, just to name a few. General requirements for opening a bank account. There are certain general requirements to get this done. You will need to have a government issued ID, for example, a valid passport or national ID. You'll need a TRN, a tax registration number. This is a document similar to what a social security number is in the United States. You will need references, proof of address, source of funds, and to prove your student status. And finally, you'll be required to complete an application form. So what we have done is put together a chart that shows each branch on the UWI campus and their requirements. So you can quickly take a look. And you can also feel free to visit any branch just to get further information. And here you will find a sample application form for the National Commercial Bank. Before I had mentioned a TRN, this is a requirement for opening the bank account. You may be wondering, what is a TRN? This is a unique 9-digit identification number assigned to each individual. It is needed to transact business with various institutions such as banks, etc. Anyone can apply for a TRN by completing the application form for taxpayer registration number, otherwise called a Form 1. This is available on the Tax Administration Jamaica website at www.jamaicatax.gov.jm, or you can simply go to any tax office. Please be guided that if you complete the form online, you will still be required to go in office to complete the process. You can visit any tax office to apply for your TRN except the Crossroads location. What you will need to apply: you'll need a valid passport in English or your original birth certificate. Also, the completed application form. On the screen, you will see an example of what the actual TRN card looks like. This is a same-day service at no cost to you. You'll be provided with a TRN assignment letter. You can use this to conduct business until the actual card is ready. This normally takes 4 to 6 weeks on average, so we suggest that you call ahead before you actually go and collect, just to ensure that the card is ready. And please ensure when you're going, you carry your ID. Once you have successfully set up your bank account, you will be provided with a bank card, or what we call an ATM or a debit card. You will be required to set up a PIN, which will allow you to access your account from any of the bank's numerous ATM machines or multi-link ATMs. You will be able to use your debit card at any point of sale location. And just like that, you're all set. Opening a bank account is a great way for you, the international and regional student, to avoid any unnecessary foreign transaction fees and easily access your funds while studying abroad. Thank you. Over to you, Mr. Don.
All right, excellent. Thank you so much, Tony. Very comprehensive presentation in terms of money matters. Right, so I see that we have a few questions. I'll ask Vikisha to assist, but I see some hands up. So Junior, you want to proceed with your question? Is it related to last presentation? Junior, still with us? Okay, so while Junior is getting ready, I see Lanry. Lanry, you have your hand up. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name.
Yeah, it's Larry.
Landry,
That's
excellent.
fine. Yeah. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, John. Questions. One, talking about the old charges on your ATM card, POS, using POS and all of that. Okay. First of all, I'm Larry from Nigeria, and I'm currently in Jamaica. So so I want to know which is cost effective. Is it operating with cash or using this ATM card? Because back in Nigeria, what I'm used to, you don't get to charge for all these things, POS, using the POS, and a lot of times making transfers, so you don't get to be charged for all of those things. So it's a totally new experience for me here in Jamaica. So I want to know which is more, which is actually cost effective, because it could also be annoying sometimes that you're going to buy stuff and they are giving you a lot of coin and you're like, what am I going to do with all this coin? And I'm always losing them a lot of time. So I want to know which is cost effective. I mean, operating with cash or or going digital. That's the first question. And the second question, I don't know if Tony would be able to answer that or someone else. If I want to, let's say, pay accommodation fee in dollars, for example, is that allowed? And if that is allowed, will it be at the bank rate or the official exchange rate? So those are my two questions. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Landry. Excellent questions. Tony, I know Tony is also supported by Miss Tyrell. Tony, you
Right.
want to take a stab at the
So
question?
as it relates to which would be better, each institution offer different rates. So it basically would be a personal choice, because some banks charge more for POS transactions. So that's something you'd have to research to see which one has the better rate. Cash is always king, you know, there's no charge there. So if you're just going based off the POS charge, cash would definitely be the more affordable route because you're not charged any fees there. For your
Certainly.
last question, I didn't get the last question clearly. You were kind of breaking up. What was the last question?
Yeah, so I was saying that if, for example, I want to pay, let's say, my accommodation fee, for example, at the bursary, and I choose to say pay in dollars, in
US
US
dollars?
dollars, not Jamaican dollars. Yeah, US dollars. So is that allowed? And will it be at the official exchange rate or at the bank rate? Because those two are different.
Right. Excellent question.
Okay.
Right.
Mr. Rem, please.
Okay. The university has a bank rate, an exchange rate. So if you go to pay using US dollars, it will be converted at the rate, the existing rate for the day that the university uses. For you to find out that rate, you can go to the cashier, the bursary cashier inside of SAS. I don't know if you have been there already, Lanry. You can go there and they'll be able to tell you what would be the exchange rate, and then you will determine how much you have to pay or if you're going to go that route. We have different places that you'd be able to go and exchange your US dollars and get Jamaican dollars. However, the exchange rate would be applicable. So you would have to decide whether you're going to change it out and come back on campus and pay, or you're going to just pay directly using your US dollars at the bursary cashier.
Right, indeed. Excellent.
Okay, thank you.
So they definitely won't turn you away. We will definitely accept the US dollars, but there is a rate. So it's really, as Mr. Rel pointed out, you just have to do the math to see whether it would be more cost effective to exchange and pay in Jamaican or just pay at the UWI rate. And yeah, as for the cash versus using the bank card, I mean, one of the key considerations is also safety, you know, so you don't want to be walking around with large amounts of cash. You don't really want to have, you know, large amounts of cash even in your room, so to speak. So there's also that consideration. So while you would get around some of the bank fees and so on, you know, there's a trade-off. And again, if you're losing the coins, then maybe that would weigh out the fees that you'll be paying. So that's one of the considerations. But thank you for your excellent question. I see Junior Barnett has his hand up. I think you were away just now. Junior, you have a question?
Yes, you're hearing me?
Yes, we're hearing you.
Okay. Unfortunately, the question is kind of a spillover from the previous section because I was unable to get in. But in terms of, I'm from Trinidad, and in terms of paying some of the funds and so on via the wire transfer, someone would have asked it earlier on if it was possible to pay in Trinidad dollars. I think you would have, or someone would have indicated, yes, it's possible a conversion would be done. But which account would it be? I know sometimes you have two accounts, a US account and a Jamaican dollars account. Which would it be if it is we are forced to, or we have no other option but to pay in TT dollars?
Right. I think that question would really be best answered by SAS. Unfortunately, Renee had to leave.
Yeah, I was trying to get in at the time,
Right.
but
Apologies,
I
we
was
didn't get to your
unable.
question. But yeah, they would be best placed to share. So I think they had shared their contact details, so you can follow up. But based on our understanding, based on what had been shared, you know, it is possible for you to pay in TT dollars using the wire transfer feature and the details that were shared.
Okay. And just one other thing, bearing in
Sure.
mind that this session is being recorded, is it that we would be, us, the participants would be given a copy of the proceedings?
Right, that's correct. So as you noted, it's being recorded. Our intention is to share it with you sometime after the session as quickly as possible. So we'll upload it to our YouTube channel, and then we'll share the link with you via email. Unfortunately, for the first session, we had a few technical difficulties, which means that the recording was in pieces. So stitching it together and so on is taking a little more time. But we'll also have the first session up and emailed. So the same way you got this link to join this session is the same way you'll get the recording for these sessions.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Thank you.
All right. Thank you too. All right. So I see a hand for KD Rajkumar. I hope I'm saying your name correctly.
Yeah, you are. Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to talk on this.
Sure.
Two major questions. The first one is that I've been trying to connect my credit card, to the e-service platform to register it. I've been to my bank. I've been in contact with SAS. I've been in contact with ITS, MITS. No progress there. I've even changed my web browser from Safari to Chrome to Internet Explorer and entered multiple credit cards. It still has not registered. So if someone could probably help me with that and also advise another payment option which would reflect onto my student account as soon as possible, because I did wire transfer to pay for my registration, and it took at least, I think, a month for my funds to come into my account. How do I prevent this? How can I pay my fees on a timely manner and get it reflected on my student account? Because I don't want to, be deemed as delinquent or anything.
Into issues, certainly. And thank you for your question. It's unfortunate that you're having the challenges that you're having, and I think you would have been connected with many of the key support team members who would assist you in alleviating this issue. I would continue to reach out to them. You can also reach out to us, and we can help to kind of move things around on your behalf internally. So we would have shared the ISO Mona email address. So try to connect with us there so that we can help to drive things forward. Now, if for whatever reason you're unable to make these payments before, the key thing is to develop an understanding with, particularly with SAS, and let them guide you in terms of paying once you've arrived in Jamaica. So you could, of course, make that payment at the cashier, and that would be immediately reflected on your account. Anything you wanted to add, Ms. Terrell or Tony, on that answer?
No, I was going to tell Katie that she might definitely have to await her arrival in Jamaica to do that payment, because if the key persons are still not able to help you to resolve this situation, it might be a case where you do the payment upon arrival.
Thank you so much. And just the last question, sorry.
Sure.
I just wanted to know, in terms of that, since I can't register my e-card, is it possible for me to set up a payment plan without registering my credit card? Because I do want to register for a payment plan, but when I sign up when I go to BOSS systems, they're telling me that I need to register my card first.
Right.
To do the payment, to do the payment plan, you still have to register your card?
Yeah.
Because there's an application process for the payment plan, which I think Renee would have shared. There's a link that you have to go on and do the application. And after approval, then you make the required payment. So if it's a case where you're still going to be using the same route to pay, you wanted to pay via e-commerce and it's not going through, then you'd have to make the payment when you come on campus.
Okay, well, thank you so much. I will definitely look to get back that link, or if someone could just forward it to me, and I'll take that route. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right. I see Cyril's hand. Cyril, you have a question for us?
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, hearing you loud and clear.
Okay, thank you. Well, actually, I've got two questions. One is about the actual balance I need to pay. Well, if I just combine all fees, miscellaneous, tuitions, and whole, I'm not today clear about how much it will be, and I haven't received a clear bill or clear balance from the university. I was wondering if it's possible to put that all together in one bill or online on the system, so that I can pay only once, and it's easy, and if it works, that would be lovely. That's the first question. Who should I ask for this?
Sorry, can you just repeat that last part for me, please?
Who would be the person to ask for getting fees balance, like a very clear bill of how much I need to pay for each thing, so that I can just proceed to the payment?
Right. Yeah. And thank you for your question. And I can imagine it's a issue that several other students will be having. It came out in the SAS presentation. So there were some related questions around that. So based on my understanding, your registration, so registering for courses, is tied to the charges that you will then see within your student account. And that will give you a clear picture of essentially how much you're to pay, right? Now, there is a fee schedule online. Sorry, you were saying, Sarah? You wanted to jump in?
If today I go to the online system on my account, I cannot see any balance available. So maybe I didn't find it, or maybe it's not available at all. So I was wondering if someone can clarify that to me.
Right. So have you registered for your courses yet?
Not yet. I've basically identified the cost of each, but I think I've got now an offer for the all. So it's something we can bill, basically. And the miscellaneous fees, I guess we can bill them also, because they are written in the letter for acceptance on the at the university. So I was wondering if someone can just build it on the system, and if I've got this, well, I think I can then proceed for the payment. But unless I've got it, I'm not that confident to make a payment if I don't even know what is the bill originally.
Certainly,
I don't know if
certainly.
I'm the only one having this issue, but it's today not clear to me.
Right, certainly. In a nutshell, as I was explaining, because the actual fees are tied to your registration, you'd have to select your courses first before those charges are added to your student account. There is a fee schedule that is online that essentially outlines what each program's cost is. And so that would help to provide you with a guide. So you have a sense as to once all of your courses are tallied up, this is what the fee should look like for the year, I believe. Now, there's also the miscellaneous fee that is stated within the fee schedule. I think if you go to the page with the schedule of fees on the UWI website, you'll see a document or a link that will essentially outline what the miscellaneous fees are. And as you mentioned, I think you'd have gotten your hall fee letter, which outlines what those fees look like as well. So I know it's not as you would like it in terms of all in one place. It's, I guess, in part because of how it is structured, but essentially that should give you an idea as to what the costs are. Now, if you want more specific information on that, we would recommend that you reach out to SAS. I believe they'd already shared their contact details in the chat, so you can just make reference to that and reach out to them and share some of those questions and concerns. It's important for them to hear them.
Okay, the SAS contact is written where?
I believe they shared it earlier in the chat, if I'm not mistaken. So if you scroll up,
I've got. Okay.
Right. So in the chat of this this webinar.
Yeah, you haven't answered the first question. Basically, for some reason, I cannot really register online, but I've been advised to wait to be here in Jamaica to be able to register directly at the desk. So that's fine to me. It's clear now. I've got another question. I was originally thinking to register my French bank account on the system to be able to with a French banking card to pay directly on the system. And for I'm guessing there are a lot of fees related to the currency exchange and stuff like this. I was wondering if I can wait a little bit to be in Jamaica, open a bank account locally, and then identify the local Jamaican bank account on the system. Is that something acceptable?
That's a good question. You see, there are possibilities there. The challenge that you might have is with transferring money to your Jamaican bank account, so that may take some time. So you just want to be mindful of those timelines and how they might affect your status.
Okay.
So it's something you'd have to just sort of investigate.
Yeah, what I've identified, if I'm not mistaken, is that for the semester one, all fees need to be paid by the 30th of August at the latest.
I'm seeing someone say I saw was another orientation set for the 20th of August. Will it be a repeat or is it different?
Right. So that orientation session is essentially our in-person orientation session. It's a big orientation session where we actually get to connect with you face to face. You'll be able to connect with each other. Some of the information that we're sharing here will be shared during that session, just in case, you know, some of your colleagues wouldn't have attended these sessions. But by and large, what we'll have are some cultural activities, some engagement, and it's going to be more interactive. So that's something you can look forward to, and be sure to attend that orientation and also any of the other scheduled orientations for general students, for graduate students, and of course your faculty orientation sessions. So you want to get as much information as possible from that orientation period so that you have smooth sailing going forward. All right, any other questions?
Hello, excuse.
Yes, Nathan, please.
I could get to ask about the registration of these subjects because I know that's a necessary process before the payment or knowing the charges. Can you get access to a advisor before reaching physically in Mona campus? Do you understand what I'm trying to ask?
Right,
Your
Mr. L, you want
academic
to?
advisor.
Yes.
You could always try reaching out to your faculty. However, they do have a schedule for both our undergraduate and graduate students. You have your orientation and registration schedule. And if you have not yet seen that, it will be sent to you in the weeks coming ahead of orientation. For graduate students in particular, I just checked with graduate studies and they said that that will be sent out to students, and the same thing for undergraduate. So undergraduate students, this information is normally placed in your portals. I'm not sure if that's the same thing would obtain for graduate students, but it's advisable that you continue to check in your admissions portal because that's how you will get the information as you move ahead for orientation and registration. And it's advisable that you await the academic advising before you go ahead and begin to select your courses online.
All right, excellent. Thank you, Mr. L. I see John, you have your hand up. You want to jump in and share your question?
Good afternoon. My name is Janai. I have a couple questions. So, one, I was wondering if First Caribbean would be easily accessible in Jamaica because that's a bank I have an account with in my country, St. Lucia. Also, I heard something about UWI credit cards, like credit cards with First Caribbean associated with the UWI campus. I wanted to know a little bit more about that. And then someone else asked in the chat that as well, where we would be able to see the academic calendar for the upcoming year.
All right. Thank you so much for your question. Regarding CIBC First Caribbean, I think they've rebranded to just CIBC, at least here locally in Jamaica. Yes, that's one of the prominent banks in Jamaica. So you should be able to set up an account there, no problem. Whether it's tied to your bank back home or your account back home, I think that's something best placed to them to speak about what that relationship would be like. But essentially, you would be setting up an account with them locally. With regard to the credit card, again, that would really be for them to say. I'm not aware of a UWI credit card that is branded for CIBC. So they would be the ones to share details on that with you. In terms of the academic calendar, I believe it has been shared, Mr. L. You know, if we've
For undergraduate
calendar.
students, it's in this the guide to incoming students. There's some dates that would be there for persons to be guided by. So you'd have the dates for the start of the semester breaks, the dates for the end of the semester, examination period date. So for undergraduate students, that information is in the guide to incoming students. For our graduate students, I am not sure if that information would also be in your portal. But as it relates to online on the UWI website, the information about the dates, that's not yet posted.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Tyrell. I see Carissa has a question in the chat regarding, I guess, the moving date. She says she's a student from Belize, taking a flight to Jamaica on the 19th. So she'll be in Jamaica on the 20th, which is good because that's when we'll be having our orientation session. But she wanted to know if students are able to stay on dorm from then, or if there's a set date to when you'd have to go on dorm. Right. So essentially that would have been discussed in our last pre-arrival session. That was last week. But in a nutshell, we would advise that you come in about a week ahead of orientation. So that would have been the week just before the 20th. But yeah, from what I'm seeing from your flight dates and so on, you should be in good stead. There will be no issues. So you'll be allowed to stay on dorm directly as you arrive. I see another hand. Sheridan, you want to share your question?
Good afternoon. It's actually a few questions from the chat that I myself would like to find out, but you guys haven't addressed this yet.
Sure.
The first question being, what amount of US dollars and Jamaican dollars can you bring into Jamaica?
Right, that's an excellent question. That's something we may have to get back to you on. I know there are general limits on bringing cash in. They tend to be very high. The average person, typically would trigger such concerns. I think maybe tens of thousands of US dollars would perhaps raise an alarm. But yeah, we can check on that. So if you wish to, reach out to us via email, we can share responses on that question. Were there any other questions you wanted to highlight?
Yes. I'm just going to read this one from the chat. In terms of setting up the TRN, if you start online and then go in person, does that shorten the 4 to 6 week time period, or it doesn't matter?
Right, that's difficult for us to say. Based on my understanding, it wouldn't. So there's the application process and then there's the processing time. So essentially the 4 to 6 weeks or what have you would still obtain.
Okay, so until you receive that TRN, is that and you can go into the bank, correct?
Again, that would be really dictated by bank's policy, but the letter that they will share with you once you have actually applied, typically that can be used to do some transactions. So you really just be to check with the bank if they will accept that letter ahead of you at receiving the actual card. Because the letter does state your TRN number, which is the critical thing that they would need in order to set you up in their system.
Okay, and last question. What do they expect for proof of funds since we're students, and where should we get the references from?
Right, proof of funds. Ms. Terrell, you want to help me with that one?
Proof of funds would be like the source of funds.
We would have what were you doing that would require you to show proof of funds? Not sure.
In the presentation on one of the slides for the requirements to set up the bank account, they stated that you need to show proof of funds or source of funds. That was on the presentation that was presented earlier.
Okay, Mr.
Tony.
Yes.
Mhm.
All right. So proof of funds would be mainly like your source of funds. So if you could say whether it's savings or from family, it's just proving your source of the funds. So whether it is from your savings or whether it is from a family member, that is what we're referring to.
Okay, and do you need like a written letter from a family member stating that the money came from them, or you can just say this?
I think you can just verbally say that. If it's required, then you can, request it. But I think it's more of a verbal communication.
Okay,
Right,
thank
it
you.
would be up to the institution to indicate what exactly they will need as proof for the funds.
All right.
Mhm.
Right, so thank you very much. Are there any other key questions that we have not addressed? Vikisha? I see. Okay, there's a question here about reference letters from Charleston. You want to elaborate on that question, Charleston? Hi. Oh, it was answered? Right. Are there any other burning questions that we need to address? I see. All right. Anaza, you want to go ahead with your question?
Hi, my question isn't really like financial. It's more about the medical form and the beneficiary form. I just wanted to know if I bring that in person or is it uploaded in the portal? Because in the portal, it doesn't show a place to upload it. Like all the other documents I was able to upload except for that.
Right. Thanks for your question. Ms. Terrell, you wanted to address that question?
I'm just trying to get in touch with the admissions office just to verify because
Okay.
this would be applicable to all students as to how being overseas, how will you submit your medical? So I'm just checking with my admissions colleagues just to find out and I'll let you know.
Thank you so much.
Right. But if in doubt, you can always bring it with you and submit it to the admissions office when you arrive.
Okay, just some
Lakeisha.
clarification on
Sure.
that. Yes, as it relates to the medical form, it needs to be submitted in person in confidence, meaning it should be in a sealed envelope and it should be separated from the beneficiaries form, which is something different. So you can take the beneficiaries form, ensure that it's filled out correctly. The part that says beneficiary, you have to have someone there for it to be valid. So you must put someone there. But for the medical form, it needs to be submitted to us in office, but it should be in a sealed envelope because it's submitted in confidence. You put your name and your ID number on the outside and you state that this is your medical form.
All right.
Thank
Thank you
you
very
so
much.
much.
Thank you very much, Lakeisha. Much appreciated. Right. And on the topic of health and medicine and the medical form, etc., we will be having a session next week that deals specifically with that topic, health and wellness, mental health, etc. So that will also be an opportunity to share some of these questions and to get hopefully some insight from a member of the health center as well. All right. So are there any other questions specifically around the topic of banking, finance? All right, so I see a question from Carissa. When we arrive at the airport, how do we get to the UWI? Is there a set transportation for international students? All right, excellent. Thank you for that question. And it does relate to what we discussed last week during that session on accommodation. So there is a service, a shuttle service that will provide first-time students with transportation from the airport to the UWI Mona campus. There is an email address, I think it's lodgings,
Yes,
if I'm not mistaken, lodgings at UWI mona.edu.jm. We can share those details with you specifically via email. Because there is some updates. So essentially what you will need to do, there's a link that you would fill out just to share with them your arrival details so that they can prepare for your arrival. Of course, if you are unable to do so, then essentially they wouldn't be able to accommodate you. Additionally, it should be noted that if you're traveling with family or friends or a support person, that service is really just for students only. So additional, measures would have to be taken to transport, your family or your friend. All right, but we'll be sharing more details on that with you pretty shortly. I see two more hands, and again, I'm looking at the time, so we kind of have to wrap things up shortly. But we'll take Chriselle. Hopefully I'm saying your name correctly, and then Anya.
Hi, thank you for taking my question.
Sure.
So I've been having major issues registering my card on the on the account, my account. And I tried using different cards, devices, and I still have no luck with it. But my thing is that I know you guys mentioned that it'll be easier if we wait till we reach to Jamaica and then make our payments or whatever. But my thing is that I have to make the $35,000 commitment fee, and I know that's due on the 9th of August. So how should I pay it? Because I really need to pay it. And like I know time is of the essence.
Right, certainly, certainly. And thank you for that question. Our recommendation is that you contact SAS about the matter. They can assist you further and provide some guidance in terms of making that payment, and if they can allow you to say, make the commitment fee payment, once you've arrived, they will be able to provide that guidance. They will also likely connect you with MITS so that they can provide you with some technical support regarding connecting your card to your account. All right, so that would be the best route to take at this time. Just to stay in communication, let someone know what's happening so that special accommodations can be made for you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, and Anya.
Good day. I just wanted to know if the shuttle service is available if you're coming on weekend, or is that just for weekdays?
Right. So there is transportation available on the weekends. The email that we'll share with you will spell out what the accommodations are. There may be a cost for weekends, but there may also not be. So that's something you can perhaps put on your radar. But as things stand, essentially, yes, you just let them know once you get that form, you fill out the form, indicate when you'll be arriving, and hopefully they'll provide you with some form of confirmation about whether they'll be able to accommodate you when you're arriving.
Okay, thank you.
All right. All right, so thank you all for your questions. I know there are quite a few. Definitely on this topic, it always has a lot of questions, but we thank Tony again for her presentation and for the support from Ms. Tyrell and Vikisha. Now, for our last segment, we invite Tamika Nzondo Bio, who is a recent international student from France who spent a year with us here at the UWI Mona. So we invite her to share a little bit about her experiences studying in Jamaica, maybe a little bit about how her and her fellow students kind of managed some of the money matters and, face the cost of living issues here in Jamaica. So Tamika, over to you.
Hi, I hope you all can hear me good because my internet is not so great.
Yes, we can hear and see you. Thank you, Tamika.
Okay, that's good. So I'm Tamika. I was an exchange student here last year for 2 semesters. I'm from France and Congo, but I was here as a French exchange student. What can I say? I was a resident on Taylor Hall, and I was studying law. I was in my 3rd year of my bachelor degree. So I just noted a few things. So first of all, I'm going to answer to the question that I saw coming back. First of all, to register for classes, do not worry. I know that you must be worried and that you want to have things done as soon as possible, but if you don't get to register now, it's all right. You always will have help as soon as you get to UWI. Well, maybe not as soon, but in end of August, September. As well as to register a card to make the payments. I did not achieve to register my card. I have a debit card. My default currency is euro, and it didn't work. And I contacted MITS, it didn't work. So as soon as I got to Jamaica, I did that, and everything was sorted. It's fine. Also, if you haven't done it yet, please create a WhatsApp group for you all. It will be so much easier. It will allow you to communicate with each other, to maybe have your question answered. And don't hesitate to reach out to the International Student Office. They're always really reactive. And yeah, they will always be there to help you. So don't hesitate to email, phone, go there when you reach Jamaica if you're not there yet. Yeah, so now about the actual topic of the meeting. So first of all, about the cost of living. So as an exchange student, I should specify that I did not have the tuition fee. At least I paid the tuition fee, but not to UWI, to my home university. So I didn't have that huge fee to pay. Um, but I had everything else. So as I said, I was a resident on Tyler Hall. Some of you may know, some other may not know, but Tyler Hall is a hall operated by Mona, and it's one of the cheaper one. That's one of the reasons I chose it. The other reason is because a previous exchange student at UWI, she recommended me to reside on Tyler Hall. Tyler Hall is a really authentic hall. It was really great. I had a great experience there. I found lots of sisters and brothers, so I would recommend it. So yeah, it was not as expensive as other halls. It was maybe less comfortable, but yeah, I had a great experience anyways. So I had that. I'm aware that the fees has changed, so I can't really tell you how much it costs. So I had that. Also, of course, I paid the miscellaneous fees, the visa, extension of stay. So those are costs you can foresee in advance. So that's great. Also include the plane tickets in your budget. The insurance, about the insurance, I kind of had minimal. I took the minimal one, so I didn't have a lot of things covered. You, of course, have the health card as soon as you pay the miscellaneous fees. So you have some reductive prices when you go to the health clinic, the health center, sorry, or the UWI hospital. But I would advise you to get a health insurance. Um, you never know what can happen in life. For example, I lost a close family member while I was at UWI, and I could not get home, but some insurance would have covered the plane tickets to get home. So, life can happen. And so, yeah, I would encourage you to maybe think about that in advance and then take your own choices, of course. What else? So about food, that would be one of the main expensive in daily life. Um, I don't know how it is in other countries in the Caribbean, but from a European point of view, I would have thought before that it would be quite cheap, but it's not that cheap. So I used to pay like 250 euros per month. So maybe like 220, 270 in USD. So that would be a reference. So yeah. And a few tips, like I said in the chat, general foods would be the cheapest and closest option for a grocery store. It's in Ligani. It's quite close to UWI. You can get there by route taxi. It would cost you like about 180, I think, for one way of route taxi, so collective taxis. Otherwise, you have markets. You have one in Papin, so you can reach Papin by foot from UWI, about 15-minute walking time. Also by route taxi, you have one downtown. These are the best option for fruit and veggies. But most importantly, as Miss Reed said, ask the locals, ask your Jamaican friends, ask your Kingstonians friends, especially because they would be able to tell you where to go. They will be able to maybe accompany you. Um, yeah, so that's what I did actually in the first place, and that's how I'm able to provide you with all of these advices. I remember I was told a lot that I would be scammed because I'm not Jamaican, and yeah, be careful about that. However, do not be too worried about that. I remember I used to go to the market with my German friend, and we would ask locals how much would you pay for a pound of carrot, or how much would you pay for like 3 plantains, and then we would go to the vendor and they would tell us a price and we would be able to bargain if it was higher. So that's an option. What else? Yeah, what I used to do is that in the month of September, especially, I noted every expenses I've made. And from that point, I was able to know how much it would cost me for the whole year. So because I didn't really know beforehand how much like groceries would cost me every month, I wasn't really able to plan a full budget. But at the end of September, I was able to calculate how much it would cost me and therefore be able to know how much I would have left for example, going to parties, going on trips on weekends. Um, Household kitchenware, bed sheets, etc. That would be kind of expensive, but that's a one-time expense, as it was said before. So yeah, you have to do it anyway. Yeah, about parties, trips, weekends, especially parties, there's a lot of parties at UWI, in Kingston in general, in Jamaica. But be careful because it might be really expensive sometimes. Like it could be free, but it could be 6,000, 8,000 Jamaican dollars for one night. So if you like to party, be careful. Um, Yeah, and my last tips. Oh, about banking, I didn't have a Jamaican bank account because I was thinking it would not be worth it to go through all the paperwork for just 9 months. So what I did was that I contacted my bank here in France before I left, and I asked them to change my well to get another deal with them so that I would not pay for like every time I pay in GMD and every time I withdraw cash. So that was a little bit more expensive by month, but I didn't have any more other fees. You can also open a Jamaican bank account, of course. And in Jamaica, you always need to have cash on you because in a lot of places you can't pay by card. So think about that. And also about USD in Jamaica, you can take USD in Jamaica, then change them, but be careful not to be scammed. So check the currency, like how much one USD would be in Jamaican dollars beforehand. And also if anybody tells you a price in USD, it's probably much cheaper in GMD. So yeah, except in like very touristy places like Negril, like Mobay, pay in Jamaican dollars. And yeah, that would be it. So I'm just seeing a question about tokens for washing and drying. Depends on holes. Yeah, on Tyler Hall it was 200 per token, if I remember well. Yeah, if you have any more questions, let me know. I'm going to put my email address in the chat and enjoy Jamaica. Like, yeah, enjoy Jamaica because when it's done, it's done. And it was really a great experience. So yeah.
All right, excellent. Thank you so much, Tamika. Very, very informative. A lot of practical information firsthand. So we really appreciate that and the time you spent. And thank you for sharing your email as well, so that students, if they have any questions, can easily communicate with you. So thank you. That was really, really valuable. And sure the students benefited. Right, so this brings us to the end of our webinar. So thank you all again for joining us. We encourage you to join us on Friday, August 2 for our third and final webinar on the topic, managing your physical and mental health. And that's, of course, a crucial topic for surviving on your study abroad journey. So please don't miss it. With that said, we also want to thank our guest presenters, Renee Balushi and Tamika Nzondo Bio, for their excellent contributions. I'd also like to thank the fantastic international office team, in particular Herman Terrell, Tony Ann Reed, and Vikisha Allen for all of their hard work and support for this webinar. And of course, we want to thank you, our incoming regional and international students, for taking the time to attend this, this session. And we hope that you found it very useful. We definitely look forward to meeting you in person on Tuesday, August 20 for the Regional and International Student Orientation session. And you would have been sent again the registration for that survey that you need to fill out. And essentially that will let us know, that you're coming, and we'll be able to plan accordingly for your arrival. So please just go ahead and register for that. We'll share the registration link in the chat so you have easy access to that. Additionally, we also have our exit survey, so you'll be able to share your feedback with us on this session. So with that said, thank you again for joining us. We look forward to connecting with you again soon, and have a great rest of your day. Take care, everyone. Bye.